If a man was doing this group, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we would have a problem. But when women do it, we're just, being feminists.
It's he said, she said, playing out on social media in Facebook groups all across the country. There are thousands of people vetting their next date in a group called Are We Dating the Same Guy? The idea is to provide a safe space to share dating experiences. News 5 anchor Tessa DiTiro sits down with a Northeast Ohio man who feels the sharing in these groups has gone too far.
Can you imagine if men did that? Are we dating the same girl? Everyone's like, yeah, she uses teeth. Yeah, she's kind of obnoxious. Yeah, she'll hit you up all day long. Come on now.
This is how a typical conversation begins on the Facebook group, Are We Dating the Same Guy? This is a screenshot of a post from the Cleveland, Akron, Canton page. The group has more than 55,000 members. This picture shows a dating profile set up by Matthew Napier. The anonymous poster asks, anyone? Waiting for the tea to spill.
Yeah. Can you imagine if I did that with like a girl I'm dating? I'm like, hey guys, any of you sleep with her?
It's just a big bash fest pretty much. And that's pretty regular in that group.
Matthew Napier sat down with me to share his experience being reviewed more than once in several of these groups where he was called pushy, creepy, and even weird.
And this guy is very well dressed. And I know you can be a creep while being well dressed. But a lot of times you will go on a date and a girl doesn't like your vibe and she feels like, oh, I listen to Taylor Swift all day. Men are the worst. Ugh.
She made it sound like I was a danger to people with the terminology that she was using. And then people started ridiculing me. They started making fun of me.
The group rules are clear. Do not take screenshots or share any information outside of the group. Don't share personal info, phone numbers, family members, or employment information. Stating the group is about protecting women, not judging men.
Oh, but when you're writing critiques of the man, that's the definition of judging.
Napier contends in his case, those rules weren't followed.
They looked at my LinkedIn and they saw my previous employer and they looked it up who the head of HR was. And
that is when you are a despicable loser. I don't care if you were a 10 out of 10 woman, you got a great body, great personality, and let's say, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you can cook. I'm not saying that's all you need from a woman, but I don't care if you're a catch. If you are contacting the HR, can you imagine if a man did that? You'd be calling it stalking. Hey, Carol didn't put out on Saturday and she egged my car and you called the job, you would be deemed a creep. You would be deemed a Me Too person. But when women do it, we're justifying our sexuality or whatever nonsense you say.
And then they posted her information, her phone number and her email address and told everyone to call.
Can you see the other side? Can you see the idea that this was created to weed out a bad dating?
Of course, the woman reporter has to try to defend this despicable group. Ladies out there that are listening to this clip, that are watching it on YouTube, you want to call me 856-49-HOPPY, tweet at me, email me, ryanhoppyradio@gmail.com, RYANHOPPE radio. Would you be okay with a man doing this group? Are we dating the same girl? If it's so wonderful and so great to have this group, like this reporter who looks like a dead fish is all of a sudden critiquing the group and saying it's fine, would you be fine if we did a group, Are We Dating the Same Girl? Trust me. You think women are spicy. You think women are gossipy. You break a man's heart. Uh-oh.
Experience.
Yeah, I think that the original idea about, creating a safe spot for people, for women to actually find men who are bad people or violent, things like that. Absolutely, I see the need for that. But
I see this Facebook comment here. If multiple women have the same story, then you may be the problem. It's not necessarily true. You could easily just make something up. I bet you a lot of these women are just kind of trying to feel like they're a part of the crowd. Like they may be making up things in the group. I'm not saying everything's made up. But if you have a girl, right, oh, this guy was a creep, he didn't pay for my dinner or whatever, other girls can just say that just because they didn't like the date or maybe the guy ghosted on them. It's literal slander.
But it's not being used for that.
To follow the group rules, a local member chose to speak with me anonymously. She uses the community to make sure she's...
Oh, why are you doing anonymously? If you can talk about other men publicly, then you should be shown publicly, you coward. I don't care how hot you are.
dating safely.
Before I even go on any dates, I literally go on that page just to gather just a little bit more information.
And you wonder why you're probably single at 36 with 2 divorces under your belt or a bunch of breakups and guys that despise you because you were a gossip queen. The Me Too movement in 2017 ruined everything because, yes, it was great to expose Harvey Weinstein and the creeps in Hollywood, but it made girls less adventurous in bed, less spontaneous on dates, and every man's the worst. And then when you have Taylor Swift making it all about women and it's never the man's fault, we have a problem, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of the gallery. Again, ladies, let me know in the comment section. Would you be okay if men did this? Are we dating the same girl?
About the person.
And at one point, when she was in a serious relationship, she looked up her fiance.
My answers were within that group based on...
Yeah, you probably are dating wrong men if you feel like you even need to look them up. Like if you're having to look up your fiance on a group, you probably have really bad taste in men and you're a Swiftie and it's never your fault and it's always the man's fault. And every time you have a breakup, you got to make a long post with no punctuation saying how bad the man is, but it's never your fault.
And at one point, when she was in a serious relationship, she looked up her fiance.
My answers were within that group based on, the woman that came forward like, oh, I had gone on a date with him. Meanwhile, we were engaged. So it was one of those things I was like, okay, this is exactly what I needed.
Matthew Napier has hired attorney Mark Trent.
Hell yeah. When you get a lawyer to defend you against a bunch of sexist, out-of-touch women, you get a guy named Mark Trent.
We've had thousands of phone calls and emails from men throughout the country, even globally from even the UK that have contacted us.
Trent gained...
Contacted us. You can tell he's from Cleveland with the accent.
From even the UK that have contacted us.
Trent gained clients after filing this lawsuit in late July against Meta, the parent company of Facebook, and the Are We Dating the Same Guy parent company known as Spill the Tea Incorporated.
We'd like to have their specific posts taken down. We want to have the group overall taken down because...
Yeah. This whole group, you're a bunch of sociopaths, and it's never your fault.
We don't think it has a positive purpose.
That suit is working its way through the courts. Meanwhile, the group puts reputations in the court of public opinion.
What the group is there for is to really just inform other women as well as protect other women.
It says for the group, this group is a place for women to protect, support, and empower other women. That is what every sexist woman says that doesn't like a man. They always use the word empowerment. No, you're a bunch of gossip queens that can't find the right man because you're looking for Mr. Perfect. That doesn't exist.
Women.
Bullying people, both men and women, and it needs to stop. Meta has allowed it. Even the admins and the moderators of the group has allowed it.
You know, if they made a post about dating Mark Zuckerberg, he'd probably shut down the group.
So Facebook has filed a motion to dismiss that case while a court ruling is still pending here.
Of course they love the group. It keeps people on Facebook.
And Rob, I want to be clear. I'm not in the group, so we looked at it from the outside.
Yeah, we really believe you, news reporter. I'm sure you're right deep in it.
But from a check today, it shows that just 40 posts today. I shouldn't say just. That's a lot in one day.
It's a part of that culture that it's never the woman's fault in a breakup. It's always the man's fault. And then I don't care how gorgeous the woman is. At some point, they become 44 years old and all their exes end up dating 25-year-olds when they were 25 years old, 15 years prior, dating 44-year-olds. I've noticed that recently, too. There's a lot of these 40-year-olds, a lot of these millennial women that are like 41, 42, that were born in like 82, 83, 84. Back 16 years ago, they were dating, even maybe 9 years ago, they were dating older guys. But then they became old themselves. So then they see their exes going after younger women and they get mad. And it's like, just because you got out of touch and you're a little past your prime doesn't mean that it's bad when Gen Z girls do it, because you were doing it at one time too. But Taylor Swift definitely does not help out the situation, because it's never her fault. I'm sure she's a delight to go out with.
Happy Hour. Happy Hour.